Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hey, hey, Megan. Hello, Marco. Yeah, I'm missing those co-working streams as well. Oops. Better I will not touch this part. I'm missing those co-working streams as well, but sadly, I have quite a lot of work to do, and I don't know how to fit together co-working streams and freelancing projects, because I can't stream really freelancing projects. Yeah. Hello, Marco. M1 is performing just amazing. Best machine I ever had. I guess that you can say that about any new Mac, but yeah, it is so. Yeah, it's a really great machine. I really like it. It is really great machine. Yeah. And yeah, it's performed well. I tried to streaming and programming at the same time. It works just fine. So yeah. Hello, Blake. Yeah, I'm missing guys those live streams as well. Hello everyone. Yeah, happy Wednesday. Not no, I didn't order those that labbing station yet. Yeah, what we are talking about, I just kind of started to think about labbing key switches. For those who don't know, that is kind of next level of going deep into the mechanical keyboard rabbit hole. Basically, you are taking your key switches out of the keyboard and applying lubricant to them. You're just steering into the parts that switch and applying lubricant to make that typing experience even more smoother. So I'm thinking about that, but also there is one more thing to do with those keys. You're adding kind of rubber rings to have a little bit less clicky, that when you're typing, that when key hits keyboard there is kind of hitting sound to make that sound kind of more softer and so on. And there are 3 different sizes for those rings, and I kind of stopped there. I felt a little bit lost, didn't understand which one I would like to get. Hello, dobry wieczór. What do I think about Russia? It is the biggest country in the world. I don't know. I never been in Russia. I was once in Sheremetyevo airport when I was flying to Thailand. It wasn't the best experience, but yeah, that is all what I saw from Russia. But I'm working with on one project with guys in a remote team. There are few guys from Russia. Nice guys, smart, really savvy, better iOS developers than I. So yeah. I prefer to do not answer this question on record. How much keyboards I have on table? 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Around me 8. And few more in other rooms. So not so much. Less than 20, let's say so. Yeah, exactly. 2 a.m. in India. Oh, yeah, that's late. I am about 5 hours behind you. It is 10:30 at the evening. So it's getting close to night, but not late yet. Yeah, there are rings as well. Yeah, exactly. I used split keyboard, but that was kind of Microsoft Sculpt keyboard. It is not fully split, but it is kind of 2-part keyboard, and frankly I like it. I used it for a while. Yeah, on table too. Yeah. Hey Kumar. Let me check if I have it. Yeah, I have it around. This one. It is already, that keyboard is already very old. I bought it back in my corporate job when I had some light RSI issues, feelings in hands, and yeah, that keyboard helped quite a lot. It's really good, but it's just falling apart already. It's oldish already. I was thinking about Moonlander, yeah, Moonlander keyboard, but I already have quite a lot of keyboards, and frankly, I'm very bad typer. I'm typing very slowly and trying to get better at that. Can't you hear me? Really? Yeah, there is like button in the video. Marco, I should not be muted. Maybe someone in the chat can say if I'm still muted all the time. That's kind of that's bad, but seems that I see that microphone is working. Okay, Megan can hear me. So yeah, that is DV2. Yeah, Moonlander, that is kind of next level of mechanical keyboards. Split keyboard, yeah. I don't know. I would like to try blank keycaps just to push myself. So yeah, Megan hear me, so it should be fine. I try to push myself to switch to kind of touch typing. I am not doing that. I should, but I'm not doing that. Cool, that's great. Good point, yeah, solid. Okay, let's do so. I will jump on today's topic and discuss a little bit about what I wanted to say, and then we can go back to questions, whatever questions we will have, and could be nice if you have to give your feedback as well. Today, if you saw that in title, I would like to discuss a little bit why would you like to work for FAANG companies. For those who don't know or didn't notice, on last week I posted video why I don't work for FAANG companies. Basically why I don't like to work for FAANG companies. And for FAANG companies, that basically is Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, basically big tech companies. I don't know why Microsoft is not included. I would add Microsoft as well. And yeah, FAANG probably will be changed to Mang because it is not Facebook anymore. It is Meta or Manga also. We have all the letters there. So I don't know. Yeah. So I'm not saying that you never should consider working for FAANG. I just made video about my reasons why I don't like to work, but I clearly see good reasons and good points why someone would like to work for FAANG companies. So let's see if how my presentation skills works. So yeah, we have slide. Reputation. Yeah, definitely FAANG companies have reputation, good or bad. If you are looking on Facebook, I will say that's bad reputation in my opinion, but anyways, if you have FAANG on your resume, even Facebook on your resume, so probably you're a smart guy if you managed to get into that company. And that is definitely easy to add X Google, X Apple, and so on to your LinkedIn profile, for example, and then you will be way more interesting for recruiters. So I will say that reputations, there are good and bad sides for that. For Facebook, unlikely I will go to work. Yeah, corporations, they're not, let's say, they are built to make money, let's say. So yeah, they are not kind of, I don't know, they're not trying to build better world, they're trying to make more money, but still, yeah, reputation, if you have it on your CV, that definitely will help you in your career. Yeah, work visa, that's also kind of good point, which I for me personally, I am living in European Union. I can move to any other country in Europe. I'm living in Latvia. For those who don't know, that is not the poorest country in the Europe, but definitely not the richest one as well. So salaries locally is relatively low, but also life expenses are also is not high, and life quality is okay. So basically, I'm living in European Union, but on kind of, let's say, countryside of it, not so much population and so on. But yeah, my point is that I have work and visa, let's say, so I can work in any European Union country. So that's kind of easy for me to do not look on those work visa questions. And I have zero willing to go to US because, from my perspective, Europe, at least currently, is much more safe, comfortable for living place comparing with US, where are most of the big corporate company offices. But if that is your dream to move, to emigrate from your country, and you don't have possibilities to migrate to Europe or US, then those big tech companies can be good help for that because they have those work visas. And if you are skilled programmer or anyways, I don't know, skilled in any good industry, then you can work your kind of profession to move over. So yeah. Yeah, corporate life. Yeah, I got you. So yeah, work visa. If that is important for you, then yeah, definitely. Fun companies definitely can help with that. What I have next in my list. Okay, money. Yeah, about money. In my reasons when I said why I am not working for FAANG, I mentioned money as well because you can find a way to earn the same or about the same money not working for FAANG. But if you are looking for, let's say, biggest salary payers, of course FAANG companies are in that list and they are paying good salaries. Also, you are getting stock options, also you are getting bonuses. For example, if you are getting 150k salary in a year, and you're maybe getting 50k in stocks and maybe some 20k in bonuses, basically you are getting close to those 200k in a year, which is quite a lot of money, right? And yeah, you can get stock options in smaller startups as well, but the smaller startups maybe are not even capitalized yet. So those stocks are just, I don't know, paper money. That is not real money. That is kind of possibility that maybe someday that will be money. But those fun companies, that is kind of real stock. You can keep it and save money in that way, or just sell it for cash. That's kind of good. I would say that those stocks, that is kind of tricky thing. I don't know. I didn't work for FAANG, kind of disclaimer. Yeah, but I spent quite a lot of time working for US companies. And also I got stock in like a bonus as well. And usually there are some kind of requirements. For example, you are getting so many stock options, but you have to work few more years to be able to withdraw them. And basically that, in my case, I'm not saying that work for all companies the same, but basically that was so that you're getting stock and you have to work, for example, for 1 year to get let's say 20% of that stock. I'm just making up numbers. 3 years to get 50% of that stock, and 5 years to get all that stock what you got as a bonus. Basically, they are kind of getting you into that company with that stock options and so on to make it harder to you to move away from that job. And that is not bad always. That's not bad. That is just fine. You're getting money. That's not bad. Sorry, let me check. I see that we have some problems with bitrate. Seems that I checked all the checkbox. Okay, that is audio, video, stream, use high quality video. Yeah, we kind of trying 1080p. Okay, hopefully that will go okay. So yeah, stock options, big salaries, comparing with new startups, basically that is already kind of really valuable stock. Also free food, free gyms, whatever, all of that stuff, massages or whatever. They kind of take care, big companies have enough money to do that, and on that big amount of employees, it is not so hard to spend, that is not so expensive to spend money on gym or free food or something else, because for each individual person that cost very little. And of course, you kind of thinking that, what's that free food? I don't need that. But when you are getting into that job, yeah, that's kind of nice to get good food for free. But otherwise, if you are not working in that FAANG companies, or not only FAANG companies, but if your company doesn't offer that, you have to go out, eat, spend money, or take something from home. That is kind of not needed actions to do. And yeah, those are nice benefits. If you are looking from benefit side, those are great benefits, but those also are kind of tools for company to kind of keep you in company and make it harder to change jobs. But yeah, there is money, definitely. Yeah. Okay, very well. Money already covered. What else we have? Learning. Yeah. Learning, yeah, that's definitely is kind of good point, because if you are working in a big tech company, you're definitely working in big team, and for sure you will have smarter people around you, and that is very important to do not be smarter guy in the room. That's kind of saying, right? If you found yourself that you are working, for example, small startup, that easily can happen that you are only developer in that small startup, and then learning is really challenging, because that is up to you. You have to basically learn new things. At the same time, you are busy working on new features, all that stuff what you have to do. And it's kind of hard to grow as developer if you are working in small startup. If you are in middle-sized startup, you are already working in team, and that is better. In FAANG, in big tech company, you definitely have big team around you. You can work a lot of interesting things from other developers. You definitely will find smarter people around. Also, those big tech companies invest back in their employees. They have money and resources, and they are interested to kind of grow skill and knowledge level of employees. And yeah, they are buying conference tickets, they are providing learning materials, and even Google that famous 20% of kind of free time, not free time, but time which you can spend working on your own projects, whatever you would like to work on. Basically, Gmail was one of those projects made in those 20% of time. That is still beneficial for company. I think no one doubts that Gmail was a successful product, right? It is still beneficial for company, but that is also interesting for employees to have possibility to work on whatever you like, explore new things, learn new things. I'll do all that stuff. So definitely, learning is kind of huge thing in those big tech companies. And yeah, last but not least, impact. That is kind of double-sided sword, right? That working in big companies. If you are working in big company, you definitely will impact millions of lives. If you are working in Apple, if you are working in Google, Facebook, whatever, of course, your product is used by millions or milliards of people, and that is kind of big impact. The tricky part of that is that how big will be your impact. To make a big impact on some product, you have to grow kind of high in that FAANG company, and that is not anymore, probably that is not anymore tech role, that is more like management, product management role, whatever, to do real impact on the product. But if you are if you are looking for job to be employee in company and you would like to be as smart as possible, as skilled as possible, to get the biggest possible products, to the biggest possible salary, to how kind of most used, most popular, most known product under your development, that's FAANG is kind of right choice. For example, if someone asking me what I'm doing, I have to have, I don't know, 5 minutes at least to explain. I'm doing YouTube, I'm building that startup, I'm building this startup. What exactly your app do? I have 3 apps and one do that, one other do that. It's kind of messy and all around, or I can just say something, I don't know, I'm accountant. But if you are working in FAANG, you can say, I don't know, I'm working in Google, I'm developing Gmail, and everything will know. Oh, kind of cool. That is again kind of prestige, right? That is not only in your resume, but if it is important to kind of say others what you do and to be recognized, that's FAANG. So those were my kind of talking points, what I wanted to highlight. One more time, basically reputation, that is your CV. If you resume, if you like to say to someone that you are kind of doing important thing, yeah, FAANG is kind of right place to be. Work visa, if it is important for you, FAANG company is kind of good way to get that. Definitely you will get a lot of monies working for FAANG. Learning opportunity, definitely that is here, and impact on people's lives. That's also for sure. Okay. So we have 24 people on stream and only 7 likes. Who's keeping? Who didn't hit the like button? Okay, let's take a look what we have in comments. Yeah, sorry, I wanted to just run through my points, and we can go back and discuss those. Yeah, that is really hard, always hard to learn everything on your own. And I did that with iOS. It is not easy. Just copy pasting errors and posting those to the Google, that works. Yeah, hello Paul. Yeah, MacBook is really great, really great. Definitely we have to say that everywhere. Max, hey, hello Kraina. Hello Levente. Yes, I considered to launching my own products and I have few already. Yeah, see you later. Thank you. Aging definitely has effect on quality of programmer because you become smarter with aging. I was dumb back in my 20s. I have no doubt that you are smart already, whatever age number you already own it, but believe me, until your, I don't know, 50s, you will become smarter every year. Hey James. I don't know. Of course, at some age, we are getting problems with health, maybe memory, maybe it's harder for brain to make kind of new connections between neurons to understand things and so on. I don't know. I don't feel that yet. Hey. That's great to hear. I'm doing well, thanks. How 16 gigabytes of RAM feels like? Well, that's... I have to say that 16 gigabytes of RAM works quite well for me. What I'm doing on my Mac, I'm streaming, programming, editing videos, editing photos. That is it. Compiling and video editing, rendering. And streaming, that's basically is on processors, that is not on RAM. What is on RAM, let's say virtual machines. I don't use virtual machines, I'm using simulators. So, for example, if I am running multiple simulators, I could see impact on RAM, but usually I'm running one simulator at the time. That's it. So 16 gigabytes for me is, let's say, enough. I'm not saying it's plenty. I could get used for 32 gigabytes of RAM, but at the same time, those 32 gigabytes of RAM costs 450 euros here, and I should wait a bit more. Also, when I took a look, if I'm getting M1 Max that has 32 gigabytes of RAM, so if I would got 32 gigabytes of RAM, I would get M1 Max for video streaming and editing, just to have more power. But then it is already 1000 more. This machine already cost close to 3000 euros here, so it's expensive enough, and I'm planning to keep it for about 2 years. And after that, I guess that we will see something new from Apple, and most likely I will just upgrade to the next base model, and that probably already will have 32 gigabytes of RAM or whatever. Or if I really will see that I'm on another project which is on level when I need 32 gigabytes of RAM, I will upgrade to work on that project, and I will charge enough for that project to can afford that. Yeah. Advice from people. Briefs. I use it kind of user stories. I went back in my product management job. I wrote user stories, and also I would say that some sketches or design examples helps. User story helps. Just I'm as a user can click that, do that, and so on. You just Google it if you don't know what is user stories. And yeah, if you can, usually questions are generated later on animations, basically how we can get from that screen to this screen and so on. That should be kind of explained. I kind of studied quite a lot for iOS development. Let's say so. My initial idea when I started iOS development, I wanted to build my own applications and own money like that. I developed a few applications. I saw that I have close to zero revenue. Spend a little bit time on that, developing. I don't know. I developed 3, 4, something like that apps, and then I decided I recognized a few problems. I'm spending a lot of time on day job, which is not programming, and I have kind of little time to work on my own applications and learn new things. And it is kind of hard to compete with those guys who are developing software every day. I decided that I have to be able to develop my own apps better. I have to switch careers to programming. So I started freelancing. And and while freelancing, currently I'm freelancing for since 2016 already. In parallel, time to time, I'm building my own applications, and currently I have, let's say, nice revenue from them. How long that took? It's hard to say now, because I kind of of course try to think back how much time it took for me, but it was kind of part-time thing. I was working full-time job. I have family. I had 2 kids already. It takes a lot of time, right? But if you are asking from me how long should you learn to be able to start applying for jobs, I would say 6 to 9 months. And first money, so yeah, I will say in 6 months you should be able to start apply for jobs and get money from that. Yeah, basically this almost the same question. Applicable in 4 more months. Yes, I will say that it is possible in 4 more months. Problem with what I see, Ignas, problem here is that you are learning quite a lot of things. JS, HTML, CSS, React, no Python. I will suggest you to try to be focused. Unlikely you will use React and Python at your first job, right? And JS also at the same time. Pick something one. Decide on what job you would like to apply. For example, you would like to be web developer working with JS, HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS, that is kind of basic things. If you are adding JS on top of that, I'm just guessing that it should be enough to get web development job, because I didn't took a look in jobs on web. But I see here you already have too many things. I doubt you need to learn React now to get job as web developer. I think that JS, HTML, CSS most likely is enough. Hey. I don't know how good or bad is that Angela course, but I heard quite often mentioned that course, so probably that is popular. And most likely, yes, that will be enough. Basically, you need to learn some basics. If you know how to, let's say, fetch data from API using some JSON or something like that, parse that data and show nicely in collection view or tab view, maybe show some detail view and so on. Add to that some code, let's say, if you know how to use GitHub, GitLab, something like that, you are kind of okay-ish already to start apply for junior jobs in iOS development. I will suggest you to try applying. Matusz, I guess you are in Poland. Is it right? If your market is big enough and there are plenty of iOS jobs, I will start to apply to those jobs as soon as you feel more or less comfortable. And just do not expect to get job for first try, and use those kind of job interviews as a training for you, basically to train yourself to go through those job interviews, because that is kind of skill on its own. If you don't have a lot of jobs in your local market, that is a little bit more tricky, of course, because if you have just 5 companies and you will file kind of applying in each and every of them, then it's kind of bad. But if you have, I don't know, 20, then apply to one, see what you are missing, ask for feedback. When they reject you, ask for feedback, what should be improved and so on, and yeah, move from that. Yes, Georgi, that sounds kind of okay, because I was trying to learn on the evenings on the beginning. And on the evenings, I had the same problem what you are saying. I was trying to learn and freelancing after working hours, and usually after working hours, we already kind of tired, and maybe you have some family things. So I switched on learning on mornings, and I just spent exactly what you are doing, 2 hours on the morning for learning and studying. Then on the evenings, time to time, when I had kind of say fuel or energy to do something else, I did. If not, next morning started again. And weekends were kind of longer. I have no clue what is Solidity. Probably that is something for web. I know nothing about web development. Yeah, so 16 gigabytes works great. So yeah, cool. That's cool. Yeah, 6 to 8, 6 to 9 months, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, in Latvia, 32 gigabytes also that is 450 euros upgrade. It's pricey. What can I say about Java? Java was first object-oriented language that I learned. So I learned it kind of enough to build my own email spammer service and something like that, but that was about it. And yeah, I don't even remember which frameworks. There were one or two frameworks which I took a look. Springboard, I guess, was one of them, but I kind of dropped that Java thing. I wanted to build mobile apps. I learned kind of that Java, then switched to. I finished one Java course, learned a little bit, didn't even started to apply to jobs because I didn't see that I would be interested to build enterprise software using Java. I started to try to build Android mobile applications using Java. Back then that was still Eclipse for programming environment. That was kind of glitchy and all around, and yeah, then I dropped that and become busy with my product management work. Czechia. Okay, yeah, Matuš, Livora. Okay, yeah, Czechia. Yeah, I don't know how big job market is, but yeah, that's what I will do, yeah. Yeah, I actually got 1 terabyte version because on my M1 MacBook Pro I have 512 gigabytes of RAM, and that is kind of a little bit tough already, yeah. For video editing, anyways, I'm using external drives, so I don't need anything kind of big on that machine, but 1 terabyte is kind of feels a little bit more comfortable, because as soon as you install 2 or 3 Xcode versions, then few versions of simulators, that already takes quite a lot of space, so yeah. Yeah, Branko, that is a really tricky question. First of all, yeah, congrats on choosing good resource. That 100 Days of Swift really like Paul Hudson's resource and lections and kind of, yeah, that 100 days challenge. That is a really great idea. But Swift versus Swift UI, that is kind of tricky question. Currently, of course, the job market is kind of more open to UI kit. Let's say so. That depends on your goals. If you are looking to build your own applications, build your own kind of app business, then Swift UI, no doubts here. If you are looking for starting freelancing career, usually on small projects, small and even maybe medium-sized projects, customers do not care what technology are you using. They care to get end result, and they will not care are you using Swift UI or UI kit. If you are looking to apply to jobs as iOS developer to medium size or big companies, then you will need to know UI kit. But I still would recommend starting with Swift UI. That feels, let's say, easier to learn, and then you can pick up UI kit when that will be needed. Yeah, UI kit is must to know. It is kind of reality if you are looking for job in the current job market. I don't know. On one freelance project, we just are planning to release next version with iOS 13 target, and iOS 13, to be frank, that is not best version. That is UIKit version 1. So sorry, UIKit. That is Swift UI version 1 on iOS 13, and that is not so great. On iOS 15, it is already nice. I like it and so on, but it yeah, basically, yeah, we just upgrading version to iOS 13, and we will be able to start use SwiftUI for that project. Another project, relatively big, there is existing application developed fully in UIKit, storyboards, all that stuff, but we are building new version of the application with new functionality, new design, all that stuff. Basically, we are building it from scratch. And yeah, for that application, we are using SwiftUI. But anyways, if you would go to apply for job in those startups or companies, you still need to know both SwiftUI and UIKit. So that's kind of tricky question. Yeah, late night stream. I am. It's kind of hard to say how that will go, but I'm kind of trying to start kind of weekly live streams to discuss some specific topics. This week it was about FAANG, and then after that has some Q&A part. And I will try to stick to about one hour stream. So we'll see how that will go. So yeah. Oh, 4K screen, and that doesn't work well. It is totally fine on M1. Of course, for M1, I have M1 with 16 gigabytes of RAM. That memory is used for GPU as well, right? So probably you need 16 gigabytes of RAM, but I don't think anyone in his own mind will buy 8 gigabytes of RAM machine in 2022 for software development, but better I will say that 16 gigabytes of RAM for sure is a must. With M1, I was running my 49-inch screen, which is 512 to 1440 pixels, so that's kind of big screen to drive, and everything was just fine. 4K screen, currently I have 32-inch 4K screen here, also no problems. M1 Pro running, let me zoom out. So this is 4K screen, 32 inches. This is 4K screen, 24 inches. M1 Pro running both screens without problems. M1 MacBook was running that screen also without problems, and yeah, no problems with that. i7 is not the best. I had i7, yeah. What's the story behind dent on my MacBook? This lamp. Oh, switched it off accidentally. Yeah, this lamp. I was kind of dumb enough to move around the monitor while my laptop was on the table, and lamp just fell over, and here is it's connected to too strong already to do not fall. Yeah, basically on other side there is kind of huge piece of metal to keep it in balance, and yeah, that was it. Actually, that was kind of lucky, let's say, accident. Of course, that will be better if that lamp will not fall. But it could fall on screen, it could fall on keyboard or on what was that? Touchpad, yeah. So it's just small dent. Hey. Huh. If you are working as iOS developer, it is totally normal if you do not code or learn anymore after work hours. That is actually kind of its own topic on it. That's kind of different topic on its own, but it is kind of expected that every developer how to have side projects, learn new things before and after work and so on. I totally disagree with that, because I don't know if you are, I don't know, repairing cars in a car repair shop. Do you really take on some projects at home? Or I don't know, if you are doctor, dentist, for example, do you really do some side projects before and after work and so on? I don't think so. I'm thinking that for there are kind of a lot of people around who are working in programming. There are kind of people who really enjoy like programming and are happy to do that all day, every day, and so on, and try it and learn new things and so on. Yeah, that's kind of fine to have work and hobby in the same kind of area, but still you have to have some work-life balance. You can't just code, you have to exercise, you have to socialize, you have to have some maybe family. Okay, that's not necessary, but most of us like to have it. So I don't think that is kind of must. If you like to do that, yeah, please do. If programming is kind of just work for you, that's also is totally normal. You're going to work your, I don't know, 8 to 5 hours, do your best job at work, do your programming stuff, and then it's it. Then close laptop, go home and do something else. That's totally normal. My hobby is YouTube, live streams and so on. Yes, I'm talking kind of about related things, that is programming and so on, but tech, all that stuff, but it's something different, right? I'm not programming all the time when I am at computer. Yeah, and for me, actually, let's say I do not enjoy programming like just programming. Frankly, I do not care about programming languages and so on, or how nice architecture is in one app or another app. I like to build stuff, build applications and so on. And yeah, I like to kind of get something from idea to the end product. And I do not care how nice architecture is used and so on. But I know that other people care, and they like to learn new architectures and so on. Just like, I don't know, have it like kind of way of art or something. I don't know. So everyone have different reasons, and everyone have different hobbies, and that's totally okay. So I don't think that it is necessary or you should learn after work hours. If you are just beginner and you like to kind of catch up on speed, to be more competitive on the market, that's fine. But also, even if so, not everyone should be system architect or tech lead or something. That is totally okay to be some, let's say, middle. If you are looking on kind of junior developers, senior developers, and in the middle, whatever is just developers, it's totally okay to be on the middle, and even do not try to get to the kind of top to become system architect or whatever. Someone should make kind of normal code as well, just without kind of becoming system architect. That's totally okay. Just work. Just going to work, doing your tasks, getting salary, going home. That's fine. Yeah. So, Branko, in your case, I would say learn SwiftUI, stick with SwiftUI, and maybe you will find some places where SwiftUI doesn't work for you and you have to lean on UIKit. But that is SwiftUI getting better every day. Yeah. Bobby, that is not funny joke. I will warn you once. Do not make those jokes anymore. That is the right way to be banned. Yeah, that's good question. I'm not using my 4K in full resolution just because it is not the best resolution for macOS. Let me say what resolution do I have. 4K. I'm using 3360 to 1890. That gives me really close to 100 points in pixel density. And for macOS, basically, if you have 32-inch 6K screen from that pricey one from Apple, then you will be on about 200 pixel density. But so yeah, macOS basically the best resolution, most smoothest, sharpest fonts and all that stuff is on 200 pixel density or on 100 pixel density. So you basically with your resolution you would like to be somewhere around those numbers. So I'm one step back on resolution. I doubt I will be able to use 1296 in vertical resolution. I had 14400 on my 49-inch screen in vertical resolution. I didn't really like that. It is too big. Fonts wasn't sharp. I was able to see pixels. All that stuff wasn't fun. Oh, I already answered this question. Check-in record, but basically I said 6 to 9 months. Multiple smaller projects. There is no good reason to build huge projects just for portfolio. Yeah. To run up to run on i13. Because not everyone upgrading. And let me say so. If you are working on small, I see, for example, even on my small applications, I see that there is some percent of people who are staying behind upgrade and still are on iOS 14. We will upgrade to iOS 14 quite fast on that project, but most likely we will stay for a bit on iOS 14. And I see on my own small projects even that there are users who are still on iOS 14. They probably have some reasons to do not upgrade, whatever reasons they have. For me, for small projects, that is not big problem. But if your application is used by millions and you have, I don't know, 3% or 5% on iOS 13, maybe you care about it. Because if those are paying users, 5% from big amount of revenue, that is quite a lot of money. So that's why. Hello. We are already close to the end. You're a little late, but hello. Okay. I didn't get really that, but whatever. Red tint on 13 Pro Max? No. It feels kind of okay. I don't know. Everything fine, but no. Maybe that's me, but I didn't see yet that. No, I'm not saying that i7 is kind of bare minimum. I'm saying that 8 GB of RAM is definitely not a good thing for software development. 16 GB. I highly recommend you to get, if you are buying something, do not buy 8 GB of RAM. If you have 8 GB of RAM, you are living with that, yeah, probably you will see you have to be careful with your Chrome tabs and all that stuff. But yeah, please do not buy a machine with 8 gigabytes of RAM today. Exactly. And there is big difference. What are you doing on that machine? You are learning development or you are working. If you are working, then efficiency of your machine is very important, because if you are losing time, you are losing money. If you are learning, probably you have more time than money, and then it is kind of good enough kind of compromise. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah. 5K run. I'm running time to time. Currently, it is snow outside, and actually, I'm in quarantine because my daughter got COVID. Nothing serious. Do not worry about that. And probably I have it as well. I got horrible head issues and back pain and all that stuff. So, but I'm fine. Do not worry about that. Everything is okay. But definitely, I'm not going to the gym in this week, and I'm not going to run. But I was walking yesterday and today, 6K walk. So kind of moving around. Okay, guys, we are close to the end. It was hour long stream. As I said, I will try to do those weekly. We'll see how that goes, because I have plenty of topics that I would like to discuss, but I can't really do YouTube video about each and every of them, and it is kind of also interesting to have real life discussion to discuss those topics and get some feedback from you and so on. So I will experiment with that for a few weeks at least. Yeah, thanks for coming. Thank you. Okay, thank you guys. See you on the next week. We'll try to stick with that schedule. Bye bye everyone. Thanks for coming.